It's been a few days, but I'm still reading poem. Perhaps not each day, but a few days, one poem. It is September 17th, 6:40 a.m. One, two, three. It was an old lady and a boy that was half past 3, and the way that they played together was beautiful to see. She couldn't go running and jumping, and the boy no more could he, for he was a thin little fellow with a thin little twisted knee. They sat in the yellow sunlight out under the maple tree. And the game that they played, I'll tell you, just as it was told to me. It was hide and go seek they were playing, though you'd never have known it to be, with an old lady and a boy with a twisted knee. The boy would bend his face down on his one little sound right knee, and he'd guess where she was hiding, in guesses 1, 2, 3. You are in the china closet. He would cry and laugh with glee. It wasn't the china closet, but he still had 2 and 3. You are up in Papa's big bedroom, in the chest with the queer old key. And she said, you are warm and warmer, but you are not quite right, said she. It can't be the little cupboard where Mama's things used to be. So it must be the clothes press, Grandma. And he found her with his 3. Then she covered her face with her fingers that were wrinkled and white and wee. And she guessed where the boy was hiding, with a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And they never had stirred from their places, right under the maple tree, this old lady, and the boy with the lame little knee, this dear old lady, and the boy who was half past 3. Henry, Cuyler, Bunner. Henry, Cuyler, Bunner. Her letter. I'm sitting alone by the fire, dressed just as I came from the dance, in a robe even you would admire. It cost a cool 1,000 in France. I'm be-diamonded, out of all reason. My hair is done up in a queue. In short, sir, the belle of the season is wasting an hour upon you. A dozen engagements I've broken, I left in the midst of a set. Likewise a proposal half spoken that awaits on the stairs for me yet. They say he'll be rich when he grows up, and then he adores me indeed. And you, sir, are turning your nose up 3,000 miles off as you read. And how do I like my position? And what do I think of New York? And now, in my higher ambition, with whom do I waltz, flirt, or talk? And isn't it nice to have riches, and diamonds, and silks, and all that? And aren't they a change to the ditches and tunnels of Poverty Flat? And yes, if you saw us out driving each day in the park, four in hand, if you saw poor dear Mama contriving to look supernaturally grand, if you saw Papa's picture as taken by Brady and tinted at that, you'd never suspect he sold bacon and flour at Poverty Flats. And yet, just this moment, when sitting to the glare of the grand chandelier, in the bustle and glitter befitting the finest soiree of the year, in the midst of a gaze de chamberie and the hum of the smallest of talk, somehow, Joe, I thought of the ferry and the dance that we had on the fork, of Harrison's bar with its muster of flags festooned over the wall, of the candles that shed their soft luster and tallow on headdress and shore, of the steps that we took to one fiddle, of the dress of my queer vis-a-vis, and how I once went down the middle with the man that shot Sandy McGee, of the moon that was quietly sleeping on the hill when the time came to go, of the few baby peaks that were peeping from under their bedcloths of snow, of that ride that to me was the rarest, of the something you said at the gate. Ah, Joe, then I wasn't on Harris to the best paying lead in the state. Well, it's all past, yet it's funny to think, as I stood in the glare of fashion and beauty and money, that I should be thinking right there of some one who breasted high water and swam the North Fork and all that, just to dance with old Follansbee's daughter, the lily of Poverty Flats. Goodness, what nonsense I'm writing. Mama says my taste still is low. Instead of my triumphs reciting, I'm spooning on Joseph. Hi-ho. And I'm to be finished by travel. Whatever's the meaning of that. Oh, why did Papa strike pay gravel in drifting on Poverty Flat? Good night, here's the end of my paper. Good night, if the longitude please, for maybe while wasting my taper, your son's climbing over the trees. But no, if you haven't got riches, and are poor, dearest Joe, and all that my heart's somewhere there in the ditches, and you've struck it on Poverty Flat. Bret Harte. Bret Harte.